Good morning. I'm thrilled to be able to talk with you today about President Obama's landmark Birth to Age 5 Early Childhood proposal to provide a seamless continuum of care for our children. And before I begin, I just want to say a word about Secretary Sebelius. We started the week together on Monday. I've been in California the past 2 days. We'll end the week today. We had a day last week where we had breakfast together, lunch meeting. We walk out lunch meeting. She says, "What are we going to do for dinner?" But it's been a remarkable partnership. And going back to the Race to the Top Early Learning Challenge, which was jointly administered, wildly successful, children don't care what the funding source is. Our nation's babies just need great opportunities. And to have Kathleen and her team so committed to this partnership, we think so much of the silos that we see at the state level and local level, that has come because of the federal dysfunction, the lack of ability at the federal level to work together. And I say this, very, very easily and openly. I couldn't ask for a better partner, a smarter partner, a partner more committed to doing the right thing for children than Kathleen Sebelius. Please give her and her team a big round of applause. I'm honored. I guess I didn't even realize I was the first Secretary of Education to ever come speak here, so I'm really honored to have the chance, and hopefully it won't be the last. Secretary Sebelius talked about President Obama's ambitious early childhood proposal from birth through age 5, which would double the size of early Head Start and vastly expand the number of 3-year-olds from low-income families enrolled in Head Start. And in a moment, I want to talk about the President's groundbreaking Preschool for All plan. It would create a new federal-state partnership, not a mandate, but a partnership, to enable states to provide universal access to high-quality preschool for all 4-year-olds from low and moderate income families. But before I get to that, I want to first thank all the Head Start and early Head Start providers for the extraordinary work that you do each and every day on behalf of our nation's children. You're doing incredibly important work that too often fails to get the recognition and support and understanding that it deserves. In many ways, your dedication to providing high-quality, comprehensive early learning opportunities helped shape the template for President Obama's early childhood plan. As early Head Start and Head Start providers have shown, high-quality early learning should never be just about boosting literacy development and pre-math skills. It must be about the whole child and the whole family, as Kathleen talked about. High-quality preschool not only builds cognitive skills, it builds those critically important non-cognitive skills as well. It promotes healthy social and emotional and physical development. Head Start's model of comprehensive social, emotional, and health services and your engagement of parents outside schools and Head Start centers has established the essential building blocks of effective early childhood programs. We know from the research summarized in Paul Tufts' recent outstanding book that the development of skills like grit and resilience and self-regulation and self-control early in life are absolutely essential to success throughout young people's lives. This work is hugely important to me on a personal level. Schools and districts must do so much more to help us understand whether we are actually developing those non-cognitive skills that actually predict student success in college, careers, and life. The standards for high-quality early learning in state programs that President Obama has laid out are informed by what we've learned from Head Start and adopted in part from Head Start's DRS competition. The quality benchmarks in the DRS are based on input from an expert panel, 16,000 public comments, and 46 years of Head Start history. And they are grounded in what we know works for our nation's children. President Obama's Preschool for All plan sets high-quality preschool requirements for state programs, such as a bachelor's degree for teachers, low staff-to-child ratios and small class sizes, a full-day program, employee salaries comparable to those of K-12 teaching staff, and developmentally appropriate evidence-based curricula and learning environments. I've heard some say that we shouldn't set the bar too high on quality for early learning, but I have to say I absolutely disagree with that sentiment. I have great faith and great commitment in the commitment and capacity of the Head Start community to rise to this challenge. In fact, I'm so confident because you're already doing so. and I congratulate you on the increase in the number of Head Start center-based teachers with a baccalaureate degree or higher in early childhood education, which hit an all-time high of 62% in 2012. It's always the right thing to do for children, to set high expectations and to insist on high-quality early learning opportunities. When I was the CEO of the Chicago Public Schools, we had a great partnership with Vanessa Rich and the local Head Start programs. And Vanessa, can you please stand? Please give Vanessa a round of applause. She and I go back a long ways, and I have to say you could not have someone more committed with a bigger heart leading this work, and look forward to our partnership together. Thank you so much for your service. Back home in Chicago, community-based providers use state preschool funds to hire teachers with a BA and a teaching certificate for 3.5 hours a day. And in the state-funded preschool classrooms in our Chicago public schools, we use Head Start funds to create preschool programs modeled after Head Start with comprehensive services and a certified teacher. I know the benefits of Head Start. I know it has been documented to reduce childhood obesity in African American children, to improve dental health and reduce child mortality rates. I know Head Start improves children's readiness for school, particularly in language and literacy. I know Head Start graduates are less likely to be held back a grade and less likely later to be arrested as young adults. And I know that the benefits of Head Start are more lasting if children go on to attend high-quality elementary schools. So I know the enormous benefits of early investment, both from all the research evidence, but also from my own personal experience growing up. My sister, brother, and I all grew up as a part of a community-based after-school program my mother ran on the south side of Chicago. Literally from the time we were born, we all went every day to our after-school tutoring program in a church basement, so I was going to after-school long before I ever went to a real school. When we were little, the older children taught the younger kids, and as we grew up, it was in our job to teach the younger children. My mother's philosophy was that children should always be teaching and being taught at the same time. And after we got done with our studies and work, we played basketball together in the evenings. Everyone knew her program was a safe haven where kids were nurtured and respected and taught right from wrong. For my mom's program, one little corner on 46 in Greenwood, she worked in a community that was plagued by violence. And many of the children we worked with faced severe challenges at home and in the community, like the children you all work with. Yet because of the opportunities my mother and others created for them, we saw some remarkable success stories bloom from that corner at 46 in Greenwood. The teenager who actually tutored my group when we were growing up, a young man named Kerry Holly, today is an IBM engineer who was named one of the 50 most important black research scientists in the country. Michael Clark Duncan, who you may have heard of, pursued his dreams in Hollywood, where he starred in The Green Mile before his untimely recent passing last year. And Ronald Ragland eventually helped me manage the Chicago Public Schools. Building upon the experiences that shaped him, Ron helped bring the AVID program to Chicago to strengthen the vital non-cognitive skills of our city's children. So when I led the Chicago Public Schools, I tried to take a lifetime of lessons to scale. And they are lessons very much in keeping with the Head Start model of providing comprehensive services, both in and outside of school. It never made sense to me that poor children should be expected to learn just as readily as other students if their stomachs were growling, if they were hungry, if they couldn't see the blackboard, or if their mouths ached from untreated cavities and gum disease. In 2006, about 12,500 students in the Chicago Public Schools received free vision services, and roughly 10,000 students got prescription eyeglasses. 3 years later, those numbers had more than doubled. The dental care program grew even more dramatically, going from treating about 1,250 students to more than 50,000 students, thanks to great generosity and community partners. And by the time I left Chicago to come here to DC, CPS had more than 150 community schools, the most in any school district in the country. And I'm so glad to tell you that many of those schools, almost 35, actually had full-service health care clinics attached to them. To close achievement, and what I always want to focus on, not just achievement, but opportunity gaps, today, states with federal support, states must do so much more to level the playing field so that all children can begin school at the same starting line. We have to get out of what I call the catch-up business. The urgent need for greater access to high-quality preschool for children from low and moderate income families is frankly no longer in dispute. Nationwide, though, fewer than 3 in 10 4-year-olds, less than 30%, are enrolled in high-quality preschool programs. How is that okay for our kids and our families and our country? And we all know that, on average, the average child from a low-income family starts kindergarten. They start school 12 to 14 months behind their peers in language development and pre-reading skills. That is morally and educationally unacceptable. And from a long-term perspective of maintaining America's competitiveness in a knowledge-based, globally competitive economy, it's actually just plain dumb. Now, in an era of tight budgets and limited resources, it's absolutely right that we challenge ourselves and ask ourselves, what's the smartest use of our scarce education dollars? And the answer, I'm convinced, is that high-quality early learning is the best investment, the best educational investment we can make in our children, our communities, and ultimately in our country. As President Obama has said, it's the best bang for our educational buck. And don't take my word for it. Folks like James Heckman, the Nobel Prize-winning economist, found a return on investment, a return of $7 to every $1 of public investment in high-quality preschool programs in his analysis of rigorous longitudinal data from the Perry Preschool Project. That's an ROI, a return that many stockbrokers would envy if they could get that in the stock market. Educators and parents understand that in today's global economy, ensuring access to high-quality preschool is not a luxury, it's an absolute necessity. They understand that investing in high-quality preschool is a win-win proposition. And they understand that we have to stop playing catch-up in education. Under the President's Birth to 5 early childhood plan, Head Start would remain at HHS, just as it always has. Over time, 4-year-olds in Head Start would transition to state-run preschool programs, freeing up Head Start funds to serve literally hundreds of thousands additional 3-year-olds in the HHS-administered program. And we would consider President Obama's plan. As we consider it, I would urge advocates for high-quality preschool to never let the perfect become the enemy of the good. In 1971, the U.S. Congress enacted a law that provided free, universal access to early childhood services and child care for children from low-income families. But the President then, Richard Nixon, vetoed that law. In the 42 years since then, the evidence that high-quality early learning works has multiplied many times over. Yes, there are still skeptics who don't believe that these programs make a difference and who oppose investing in our nation's babies and toddlers at a time when we have deficits, and who oppose raising tobacco taxes, both to discourage youth from taking up smoking and to finance President Obama's Birth to 5 plan. Advocates and practitioners who believe in the importance of early intervention must not, cannot remain in their separate silos. Congress needs to hear your unified voice, your collective support, and your expert input. In the terms of an early learning educator, we have to progress from parallel play to cooperative play. The President's early learning plan would provide the biggest increase in educational opportunity in the preschool to 12 space in this century. So one of my heroes and a friend, Marian Wright Edelman, wrote, she said, the President's plan is a giant step forward for our nation's children. We cannot let this opportunity pass. America's children cannot wait another 42 years. The need is urgent and the time is now. With your commitment, with your hard work, and with your conviction, let us seek to ensure that every child in America grows up ready to learn and ready for life. Thank you so much, and we look forward to your questions.